In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear hub bearings on this Nissan Rogue. These are going to be located behind the rear wheels. Let's get into it. Remove the wheel, use a 21mm socket. Remove the wheel. We're going to take these two caliper bracket bolts out. We're going to take the caliper and bracket off together. Use a 17mm socket. Take those out. And you want to use a brake caliper hanger and just hang this out of the way. I'm going to take the rotor off. I'm going to take off the cotter pin. I'm just going to use some side cutters. Just bend it straight. And pull it out. Using a 32mm socket, take the axle nut out. You want to make sure this is loose. If it's still tight in there, just take a punch and tap it with a hammer. Now we're going to take the wheel speed sensor wire out. I'm just going to use a 10mm socket, take this bolt out. Pull that out, and then grab the wheel speed sensor. You're going to pull that out. If it doesn't come out that smooth, use some pair of pliers or needle nose pliers. On the back side of where the hub is, there's 4 bolts. We're going to use an 18mm socket. You're going to have to get in there with a long extension. Take these bolts out. 17mm socket. Another bolt. Another one. All right, that's all the bolts. Now we're just gonna take a hammer, just give it a tap. Just try to take this off. There we go. It broke free. Slide it off the axle. Push the axle in a little bit. There we go. Normally you're just going to be able to push the bearing out of this bracket right here. This one's stuck in there pretty good. So just supporting this with some jack stands and using a hammer and putting the bolts back in. We're just going to tap it out. There we go. You can take the bolts out. You might have to let it soak for a little bit. Use some rust penetrant if it's giving you trouble. Sometimes this bracket will stay on the vehicle. And there's the bearing. Using a wire brush, I'm just going to clean this up because of all the corrosion. All right, that looks good. Now take the new wheel bearing, and as you're sliding this in, if you're struggling a little bit, you may have this completely 180. You might have to turn it. These bolt holes only line up one way. You can see they're closer on one side than the other. We're going to go over the axle. Get this lined up. All right, that's good. There's a bracket behind here that the holes have to line up on the bracket as well. So you might have to mess around with that a little bit. Then we can take the bolts, get the bolts started from the back side. And get the other ones in. Oops. They're lined up in that other bracket. And get the other two in. There we go. Once you get those all started, then you can start to snug those down. Right. Once those are all tight, then we're going to torque these to 65 foot-pounds. All right, those are torqued. Now I take the wheel speed sensor, slide that in position, get the bolt in. And snug that down. Just take some anti-seize. Give it a spray, just a thin coat. It's good. Take the rotor, get that lined up. You might have to adjust the parking brake. That feels good though. Take the brake caliper, and take the hanger off, spread the pads, slide it over the rotor, and get the bolt started. Those are started. I'm going to tighten these down. Now torque these bolts to 62 foot-pounds. Put the nut on. Get the axle nut on. Snug that down. Now torque this nut to 92 foot-pounds. I put a pry bar in between the studs to prevent the hub from spinning. That's good. Pull that out. And take the cotter pin, line that up. Take some side cutters and just bend this over. Bend this one over as well, or you can just trim it. Now you can install the wheel. I'll put the wheel back on. Get that lined up. Put the lug nuts on. Snug that on. Now we're going to torque the lug nuts to 83 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. Go around again, double check.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.